Right now at 6, why researchers say heat waves like the one we're in now could be more frequent in the future.
And a veteran with ties to southern Wisconsin continues his cross-country trip. What he is hoping to accomplish straight ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Thanks for joining us tonight. We are still in the middle of an extended stretch of alert days.
Some overnight showers cooled us off for a little bit today, but it'll warm up dramatically tomorrow. Let's check your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canaldi.
Charlotte, temperatures could be 5 to 10 degrees warmer tomorrow afternoon because we won't have the benefit of thunderstorms overnight that cooled us off into this morning. And you see the clouds across southern Wisconsin. It really had to wait until mid to late afternoon before we started to get some sunshine and allowed the temperatures to start to heat up. So tonight there's still a possibility for an isolated strong thunderstorm. The better chances will be north of Madison. Otherwise, it's going to be a muggy night with temperatures only dropping into the mid-70s. Highs tomorrow will be in the mid-90s with the heat index values perhaps close to 110, and then still a high of 90 expected on Saturday with heat index readings into the triple digits before thunderstorms start to break the heat late in the day. Some storms starting to develop in Minnesota. In fact, a tornado watch has just been issued there, but you can see those storms lifting toward the northeast. So again, that should take them mainly north of southern Wisconsin, where there is a slight risk of severe weather for tonight, a marginal risk mainly to the north of Madison for tomorrow, and a marginal risk on Saturday as the cold front comes through. Heat advisories in effect for most of southern Wisconsin through 11 p.m. tomorrow evening. For southwestern Wisconsin, excessive heat warnings in effect. Here are current temperatures, mid-80s to near 90 degrees. But look at these dew points, 80 degrees in Platteville, 81 in Mineral Point. That is beyond tropical weather. So you add those two together and you come up with heat index readings that are as high as 105 right now in Mineral Point, 102 in Boscobel and Platteville. By tomorrow morning, temperatures only drop into the mid-70s, and tomorrow we're not expecting any rain. Lots of sunshine and boost high temperatures into the mid-90s. Again, heat index readings into the triple digits, but hopefully some relief's on the way. I'll have more details on weather in a few minutes.
Okay, Gary, extreme heat and humidity are set to arrive tomorrow, as he said, across southern Wisconsin.
In the future, according to a new report, the extreme heat could be the new normal in the Badger State. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield is here with more. Dave?
Well, Charlotte and Eric, we've been very warm all week in Madison, but dangerous heat and humidity is possible tomorrow. According to a new report released this week by the Union of Concerned Scientists, the amount of heat waves and dangerously hot days could increase dramatically in the near future if no action is taken on climate change. Historically, Dane County has experienced an average of 1 day a year with a heat index above 105 degrees. According to the report, with no action on climate change, that number could increase to 11 days of 105-degree heat index per year by 2050 and almost a month's worth of days with dangerous heat index values by 2100.
I think the heat is horrible. I've enjoyed the evenings because they're a little cooler, but I think it's too bad that we can't enjoy our daytime activities.
When you're up at 105 degrees Fahrenheit, that's in a place where you're starting to get danger.
The increase in the amount of days with extreme heat could have impacts outside of an increase of heat-related illnesses or deaths. The report's co-author said that there could be decreased production from outdoor workers and daily cattle, and even a reduction in student test score performance. Now, heat-related illnesses like heat exhaustion and heat stroke become much more likely when the feels-like temperature is above 105 degrees. Included in those projections in that report are multiple so-called off-the-charts heat index days where feels-like temperatures could exceed the National Weather Service heat index calculations.
Monona Terrace Concerts on the Rooftop has been moved indoors tonight because of weather conditions. The concert featuring the band Madison County will now be hosted inside the exhibition hall. According to a Facebook post, free tickets are required. Picnic baskets will be allowed, but no carry-in alcohol will be permitted. It will still start at the same time, 7 o'clock. There are concerns from neighbors that an affordable housing proposal could bring a bad element to Madison's north side.
And the alder for that district says housing for working families and seniors is desperately needed in his district. Rose Schmidt live from Huxley Street now to show us where this project would go. Rose?
Yes, well, the idea is to create 2 towers in place of what is now the Heritage Credit Union. One of those towers would be senior apartments, the other would be multi-family units. And the alder for this district says this is the perfect location because it's right across the street from the North Transfer Point. But some neighbors disagree.
The neighbors are really nice people around here.
Living in the same neighborhood for 4 decades,
40 years, at least.
Joe Goodrow has strong opinions about an affordable housing complex proposed for about 100 yards away from his North Side home.
I don't need that in my neighborhood. We already got a bar down in the corner. We got 2 halfway houses within a short distance of the house.
The Heritage Credit Union is leaving Huxley Street, so MSP Real Estate is proposing filling that 2 to 3 acre space with 61 senior units and 50 multifamily units. 85% of each would be considered affordable housing.
This will be a beneficial project for the community.
Short and sweet, Alder Syed Abbas says the location of the proposed development can't be beat. Right by the North Transfer Point, Dane County Job Center, and the Oscar Mayer plant.
The developer in Oscar Mayer is planning to develop that area, and with that development, with having working class job, it's nice to have affordable housing where people can stay.
The project is still in its early stages, but ever since Abbas notified neighbors about the housing proposal, he's seen negative social media posts, had phone calls and emails about concerns the housing will bring crime to the neighborhood.
When people reach out to me, I think so there is some misunderstanding among people. People see all affordable housing as a tree lane, and tree lane definitely gave a bad taste.
For Joe, it all comes back to a potential loss in property values in the form of one simple question.
If you were going to buy my house, would you want that property over there?
Abbas will hold a neighborhood meeting next Tuesday, and he's hoping to hear any concerns about this project from neighbors in this area.
All right, Rose Schmidt. Thank you, Rose. The Wisconsin National Guard trying to determine how a drone crashed near Volk Field. The Guard says an RQ-7 Shadow drone lost its link to its operator yesterday afternoon. This was during a training exercise. It went down into some trees just south of I-90-94 between Oakdale and Camp Douglas. Volk Field security forces ultimately found the machine and secured it. The drone did not have any weapons on it, only a camera. No injuries or property damage was reported, but the drone sustained what the Guard called, quote, significant damage. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources is looking for the people who illegally dumped an invasive crayfish into the Wisconsin River. The red swamp crayfish, sometimes referred to as the Louisiana crayfish, was found at a canoe landing in Sauk Prairie. It can be a host for parasites and disease and can carry crayfish fungus. The red swamp crayfish is a prohibited species in Wisconsin.
A cross-country tour is currently making its way through southern Wisconsin. It's not a band, performance, or play, rather a mission to raise money and awareness. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter tells us how it's making an impact in our community.
It's back roads just like this one that have led a man from Portland to here in southern Wisconsin. Well, his journey is not over yet. It's already making a difference in the lives of our nation's veterans.
He made us do a 100-page paper on Mayan hieroglyphics.
Tom Zerhelen is back where it all started, on campus at his alma mater, Beloit College. Today, he's back to take a tour.
But it looks pretty much the same.
Well, he's on part of a much larger tour.
Good morning, Vet Zero Nation.
Across the nation.
I want to do something big and something that really raised awareness on a national level to get people together and support our veterans.
Starting in Portland, Oregon, and ending in New York State, Zerhelen is walking 22 miles a day in honor of the average of 22 veterans who commit suicide daily, while also trying to raise awareness to other issues vets are facing.
I had no idea how much a lot of veterans need in terms of support, both financially and in mental health issues. So I wanted to do something special for those veterans who kind of fall through the cracks.
It's something that needs to be discussed even in Rock County, says Marcia Galvin.
At any given time in Rock County, there's less than 1% vacancy rate. The cost of living is very high in the area.
Galvin works for Rock Haven, which tries to help veterans with issues they might have while transitioning back to civilian life.
Going from the military, where it's very structured and it's very XYZ, to the real world here in the civilian world where things are very different.
And while Zerhelen says there's a whole bunch of things that have made his cross-country trip interesting.
Snowstorms, sleet storms, walking through mountain ranges at 8,000 feet.
He says ultimately causes like Rock Haven are the reason he's walking in the first place.
The transition between military life and civilian life is daunting for everyone. But there are some people who are less prepared than others, and these are the people that we really need to take care of.
Tom says each pair of shoes he has lasted him about 500 miles. In fact, he just picked up a new pair today. Well, he still has several thousand miles to go. He says the journey's worth it. In Beloit, Adam Duxter, News 3 Now.
Zerhelen said he hopes his trip can inspire others to do what they can to raise awareness for issues that they are passionate about.
And still ahead tonight, celebrating 35 years of an iconic Wisconsin restaurant. Plus, we'll go inside a piece of military aviation history, the B-17 Flying Fortress, ahead of next week's EAA Air Venture.
And then tonight at 10, developers say it will be a Hard Rock casino that will be built right across the state line in Illinois. What the big name means for the ongoing Beloit Casino project at 10.
It's Hy-Vee's Big
Welcome back. It is one of the most iconic heavy bombers in aviation history. The Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress first saw combat back in 1941, and as the Second World War intensified, it became mass-produced. But today, most of them are in scrapyards and museums, with only a handful of them still flying. And one of those planes was in Madison today.
This particular plane never saw combat, but it is an exact replica of one of the planes that carried out bombing raids all throughout Europe during World War II. Today, a man named George Levi Mueller, who is a survivor of 3 Nazi concentration camps, got the chance to fly in one today. Mueller said he saw thousands of these planes fly over his camps. He said being in one of the bomber planes that helped save him decades ago was nostalgic.
Really enjoyed it, and I sat up front in the cockpit, but this was like a dream come true. I really enjoyed it. I would like to go with the next one.
Mueller told us he was 13 years old when he went into the concentration camps, and we'll hear more from him tonight at 10. These planes are available for you to ride as well. All weekend, they're opening up flights to the public. To reserve a spot, visit channel3000.com.
35 years ago today, a little A&W Root Beer drive-in restaurant in Sauk City changed its oval sign blue and started selling frozen custard and butter burgers. Since that opening, July 18th, 1984, Culver's has added 715 more restaurants. Number 716 opened earlier this week in Auburn, Indiana. I talked to co-founder and CEO Craig Culver this week. He says that first year was difficult. It's grown in spurts through the decades to become a national name. There is now at least one Culver's restaurant in 25 states. Culver's still loving the ride, thanking the people around him.
My real passion is with our people. It clearly is. Don't get me wrong, I love the butter burger, I love frozen custard, love all our great products, but it's our people that, you know, they make the difference. And they're fun to work with most of the time.
Yeah. The family will tell you they never dreamed that that Culver's would grow to the success it is today. And it really is truly an American success story, a Wisconsin success story.
And earlier this year, Culver's beat out In-N-Out Burger as the nation's best burger chain. That's according to data from a Restaurant Business Report. And tonight, we'll hear more about this 35th anniversary celebration for a Wisconsin original. That's on News 3 Now at 10.
Still ahead tonight, fair season is in full swing. And if you're going to the Dane County Fair in the coming days, we have a few things to know before heading out.
Plus, our consecutive alert days continue. On top of the heat, we're keeping an eye out for some potential severe weather tonight. Your full forecast next.
Good day at school, guys.
Fair season is officially in full swing across South Central Wisconsin, and starting today, it is Dane County's turn.
3 things to know before you go. 1, each day has a special theme. Today is Hometown Heroes Day. All members of the military get in for free. 2, you can save money by buying fair and carnival tickets in advance. And 3, security is top of mind for many. The fair partners with the Dane County Sheriff's Office and Madison Police to have plenty of officers on the grounds all weekend long.
And man, make sure you're hydrated if you're heading out to the fair. It's going to be a hot one there as well. At least it's Sunday, we turn the corner a bit, right?
Yeah, Sunday we might see some thunderstorms in the morning, but after they clear out, we should notice a noticeable drop in the humidity. Take a look at the temperatures. Now, we're in the mid 80s, mid to upper 80s through southern Wisconsin. That's the only reason we didn't get as warm as we were forecast today was those morning thunderstorms kept the cloud cover for much of the morning. We didn't get the sunshine until the afternoon. But what that has done is cool the air just a little bit here, allowed the sun to bake the areas just to our south and west, so it kind of sets up a front right in through here that divides the 90s to the 80s farther to the north, and we're starting to see some thunderstorms develop along that. More importantly, look at the heat or the dew point temperatures, mid to upper 70s through much of Iowa into southwestern Wisconsin. Right now, Platteville has a dew point temperature of 80 degrees. Unbelievably humid. And a lot of that is from the rain this morning, just making the air a little bit more humid. So heat index values are already in the triple digits over southwestern Wisconsin and approaching 110 in spots over parts of Iowa. That's the heat that's just to our south and west. Now we're going to have to keep an eye on that because for tomorrow and for Saturday, we're looking for heat index values that'll be well into the triple digits. But notice the drop in the heat index values to the north. That's as a cold front drops through. If it gets here a little bit earlier, we could at least break the heat a little earlier on Saturday. More likely that'll be on Sunday. Excessive heat warnings in effect for much of Iowa, Illinois, and far southwestern Wisconsin. Heat advisories for the rest of southern Wisconsin. We're seeing some strong to severe thunderstorms starting to develop in south central Minnesota. Severe thunderstorm warning until 6:30 p.m. And you can see the probability of hail up to over an inch in diameter. That is moving into an area that doesn't need any more rain. These are the rain totals from last night. General 2 to 4 inch rains over southwestern Wisconsin and about 1 to 3 inches elsewhere. The Storm Prediction Center has just issued a tornado watch for parts of southern Minnesota and northern Iowa until midnight. But it looks like these thunderstorms are moving toward the northeast. So hopefully that will keep them to the north of southern Wisconsin, even though the severe weather threat extends far enough south to the Illinois state line where there's a little higher probability of severe weather here. Tomorrow that shifts to the north, and you can see just a marginal risk of severe weather north of Madison if a storm can develop at all. Saturday we could see a couple of strong to severe thunderstorms along the cold front, but again, that'll break the heat. And look at the additional rainfall through Sunday morning. Probably about an inch through southern Wisconsin, but some areas could pick up an additional 2 to 3 inches in heavier showers and thunderstorms. Alert days are in the forecast for tonight for the possibility for an isolated strong thunderstorm. Highs tomorrow in the mid-90s with the heat index to the triple digits, and then another hot day on Saturday before thunderstorms break the heat. Our forecast calls for that heat advisory for much of southern Wisconsin through 11 p.m. tomorrow night and a heat warning for Crawford and Grant counties. Tonight, look for a low of 75 with just a chance of a thunderstorm. Tomorrow, no storms expected, a high of 96 and the heat index approaching 110 in spots. On future track, the threat for rain mainly to the north of us for tonight. Lows in the mid-70s, highs tomorrow in the mid-90s with lots of sunshine. Just an outside chance of a thunderstorm tomorrow night. Saturday, you can see that cold front come through, and eventually the winds will shift to the north. High temperatures around 90 and then falling temperatures late in the day. As far as rainfall amounts are concerned, again, about an inch, but some areas could pick up more than that in a heavier thunderstorm. Definite break in the heat after Sunday. High temperatures about 80 to 85 next week, but with less humidity.
The Gophers took Paul Bunyan's axe out of Madison for the first time in 14 years, so the border battle is on. The story's coming up in sports. You know, there's nothing like waking up at 6 in the morning and watching a golf tournament live on TV. Well, not everyone feels that way, I guess, but if you love golf, watching the Open at all hours of the day is pretty neat. First round at Royal Portrush today. It's a home game for Rory McIlroy, a hero to the fans in Northern Ireland, but he pulled his opening tee shot out of bounds. He started with a quadruple bogey 8 on his way to a round at 79. The leader after the first round is American J.B. Holmes. He rose in a birdie putt on the 18th hole, takes the lead, a round of 5 under 67, stands up. It's a one-shot lead over Irishman Shane Lowry, and Mr. Major Brooks Koepka is right there, 2 shots behind. Tiger Woods struggled, said his fused spine was giving him issues, and David Duval's in last place. He shot a 91, which included a 14 on the 7th hole. As the Brewers begin the series in Arizona tonight, the race is on between the Dodgers' Cody Bellinger and the Brewers' Christian Yelich. Bellinger and Yelich both have 34 homers to lead the majors. Looks like it's going to be quite a race for the home run title, but Yelich downplays the battle.
No, I mean, I don't think we're looking exactly at what each other are doing. Like I said, it's still too early for that. But, you know, we've become kind of semi-friends over the last year or so, and it's always fun competing with your buddies. And, like I said, he's a great player. The things he's doing are unbelievable, and I'll just have to wait and see how it plays out.
The Wisconsin Football Coaches Association All-Star Games are Saturday at UW-Oshkosh. These games bring together most of the top senior players in the state who have just graduated from high school. They're players from all over Wisconsin trying to come together as a unit in just a few days. It's a great learning experience.
These guys are all graduated. They're going on to another part of their life, whether it's to play college football, whether it's to go to a university or a college, whether it's to go in the trades, whatever it might be, military. They're going to be meeting new people all throughout their next years of life. And this is a great opportunity for them to learn that.
This definitely prepares me, and I've talked to other people on the team how this is a good preparation for college, and it's a good way to close out high school with some of the top athletes in the state.
Big Ten Football Media Days kicked off in Chicago today. The Badger representatives are scheduled to speak tomorrow. Among the speakers today, Minnesota's head coach P.J. Fleck. Oh yes, the topic of Paul Bunyan's axe came up. This was the scene last November when the Gophers returned home after beating the Badgers 37-15 at Camp Randall. Fleck says winning back the axe is still huge for the Gophers program.
I know maybe Wisconsin's not happy that we have the axe, but it's healthy for the rivalry. Trust me, Wisconsin didn't let us win. But it's healthy after 14 straight years of one of the greatest rivalries in college football, with Paul Bunyan's axe being one-sided for 14 straight years. Well, winning that game, especially how we won it and where we won it, and hadn't won there since 1994, hadn't won the game in 14 straight years, breaking that mold creates this hope for the future.
You talk to current or former Badgers, they are ticked off that axe is in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes in November when they have the race.
Should be interesting to watch. Final check of the forecast, Gary.
Yeah, watching some storms right along the Minnesota state line there where there is a tornado watch. Nothing imminent, though, for southern Wisconsin, but the heat. Temperatures right now mid to upper 80s, but those dew point temperatures are in the mid-70s to around 80 degrees. Unbelievably humid. Heat index values already in the triple digits over southwestern Wisconsin. Look for a break in the heat after the weekend.
Thanks for joining us.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.